President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. He sought a coup by misleading people with lies. My father and our neighbors were misled also with lies, and I know where such lies lead. President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old.
When political bravado meets Hollywood toughness, the result is an unstoppable takedown that leaves no ego unscathed. This isn't just a roast. It's a full-scale dismantling of the spectacle and chaos that have defined a presidency built on bluster and bombast. From outrageous tweets to chaotic leadership, the flaws are exposed with sharp wit and unrelenting humor. Get ready for a relentless, hilarious journey through the highs, lows, and outright absurdities of an administration that can't escape its own spotlight.
But you were wrong about Donald Trump. You said he's going to be irrelevant. He's not. In fact, he's the leading candidate for the Republican nomination.
We don't know the future. I just predicted that, but we will see. Remember, the future still goes on. So we will see in a few years from now how right I was or not. I cannot prove it right now, but eventually I think it will be true. I will be right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger stepping into the political arena to roast Donald Trump is like sending the Terminator after a malfunctioning robot. Relentless, unstoppable, and absolutely brutal. Right from the start, Arnold doesn't hold back, targeting Trump with the kind of wit and precision that only a Hollywood action hero turned politician can deliver. The current president's bluster and bravado become the perfect fodder for Arnold's sharp tongue, which slices through the noise like a set of laser-guided one-liners.
Republicans, even though I'm a Republican, I tell you, it is sometimes disappointing. And then I think even just when you look at the symbols of the party, think about that. I mean, the Democrats, donkey, Republicans, elephant. And the donkey's a jackass. And of course, wherever the big animal goes, leaves a pile of dump.
If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Arnold's first salvo lands on Trump's endless self-promotion. The man who once insisted he could grab fame now spends more time tweeting about his own greatness than actually governing. Schwarzenegger mocks how Trump's ego is so large it needs its own zip code, comparing his Twitter feed to a non-stop infomercial for the Trump brand. Every tweet, every boast, every all-caps rant is framed as the desperate plea of someone who needs constant validation, the political equivalent of an Instagram influencer begging for likes.
Ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet. But what are we to make of those elected officials who have enabled his lies and his treachery? I will remind them of what Teddy Roosevelt said. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president.
Then Arnold turns to Trump's habit of flipping on friends and allies faster than a stuntman changes costumes. One day he's praising someone as the best, and the next he's calling them a total disaster. It's like watching a soap opera where the plot twists are dictated by who has the president's ear that morning. Schwarzenegger draws parallels to his own career in action films, noting how Trump's unpredictability would make for a terrible co-star, always changing the script, forgetting lines, and expecting everyone else to improvise.
Now, Mr. Trump has been indicted on federal charges, but most of the top Republican officials are siding with him against the special prosecutor. How do you explain that?
Well, first of all, I'm not an expert in this issue. I just can tell you one thing, that if the charges are correct, then he is going to be in deep trouble.
Schwarzenegger doesn't spare Trump's administration either. He points out how the White House under Trump resembles one of his old movie sets, full of drama, chaos, and a complete lack of direction. The revolving door of officials, the scandals, and the constant media circus are all signs of a production that's more soap opera than serious governance. Arnold's roast highlights the irony that while Trump campaigned on draining the swamp, his presidency has become a swamp of scandal and incompetence.
Ask you a quick question about Donald Trump, because you guys both hosted The Apprentice. You don't necessarily see eye to eye on most things. He listed his weight at 215 pounds. You are one of the foremost experts on the male physique, bodybuilding, etc. When you size him up, what would you guess that that man weighs?
You know, I don't really know how much he weighs. I can tell you one thing, that if you would ask me what should you do for fitness, I would just say run around yourself 3 times. You're going to be in great shape. You know?
Next up is Trump's relationship with the truth, or lack thereof. Schwarzenegger mocks how facts are treated as optional, with alternative realities spun faster than the latest blockbuster special effects. Trump's ability to deny obvious realities makes him less of a leader and more of a character in a badly written script where continuity errors are ignored and plot holes are filled with wild claims and conspiracy theories. Arnold's sharp observations turn these failures into comedy gold, painting the president as a man living in a fantasy world where every problem can be solved with a tweet or a press conference meltdown. Melania Trump isn't ignored in Arnold's roast, but she's more of a backdrop to Trump's spectacle. The roast uses her presence to highlight the absurdity of Trump's public persona, where even his closest allies seem to be holding their breath, waiting for the next meltdown.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all, our country. You're the president of the United States. You shouldn't do that. I mean, what's the matter with you? I mean, whatever happened to the strong words or to the strength of Ronald Reagan when he stood there at the Berlin Wall and he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. What happened to all that?
Arnold also takes aim at Trump's obsession with image and appearances. He jokes about the president's hair, his constant tanning, and his love for gold everything, framing it as the kind of vanity that belongs in a Hollywood costume department, not the Oval Office. Schwarzenegger's humor turns these superficial traits into symbols of a leader more concerned with looking powerful than actually wielding power effectively. The roast contrasts Trump's obsession with surface-level glamour against the deep challenges the country faces, pointing out the mismatch with biting sarcasm.
Worried are you about the fact that he could be re-elected president?
I'm not worried about it, because I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think that you get re-elected with 30% or 33% of the people voting for you or in your polls. I think there's a great poll numbers amongst conservatives, but I think if you put it all together, it's not enough. You need the swing voters, you need the independents, and so the question is, can he do that?
Throughout the roast, Arnold's unique blend of charisma and deadpan delivery turns each jab into a memorable moment. He mocks Trump's use of nicknames, his penchant for exaggeration, and his tendency to turn every situation into a personal drama. Schwarzenegger highlights the irony of a man who built a brand on strength but often looks weak when faced with criticism or accountability. The roast paints a picture of a president whose greatest talent is spinning chaos into headlines, but whose legacy might end up being nothing more than an endless loop of scandals and contradictions.
Having you here tonight because I think that you're a person who is trusted on both sides, and that's very rare nowadays. And I think probably Donald Trump doesn't want you to be trusted because I don't think Donald Trump likes you very much, to be honest. True? Yeah. So, but
In the final stretch, Arnold brings it all home by contrasting Trump's grandiose self-image with the reality of his presidency. He jokes about how Trump claims to be the greatest president ever, yet approval ratings and public opinion tell a different story. Schwarzenegger's takedown of Trump is a masterclass in blending humor with hard truths, showing that beneath the bravado and noise lies a leadership style that's as flawed as it is fascinating. For those watching, it's a reminder that sometimes the strongest punchlines come from the most unexpected sources.
Bullet, he weighs 215 pounds?
Yeah, as much as is possible that there is no climate change. and as much as is possible that we don't need to really reduce pollution and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, look, we all know that the way he is, and if it makes him feel good to, tell everyone he weighs 215, I think everyone laughs about it because he does not look like he weighs 215.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's roast of Donald Trump doesn't just skim the surface. It dives headfirst into the contradictions, absurdities, and outright spectacle that have come to define the current presidency. What makes Arnold's takedown so compelling isn't just his sharp wit or his Hollywood gravitas. It's how he cuts through the noise with a blend of humor and authority that leaves no room for spin or excuse. He zooms in on Trump's mastery of self-promotion, a talent so over the top it's like watching someone try to sell fireworks during a rainstorm. Every rally, tweet, or press conference feels like a performance designed not to inform or inspire, but to keep the spotlight glued to Trump's ever-expanding ego.
Former governor of California, my home state, California's been in the headlines. Obviously, there have been these huge protests of President Trump's immigration policies. He threatened to potentially arrest Gavin Newsom if he didn't comply. If you were governor right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing?
Well, I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that, is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government, and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other. Fighting each other's agendas and all of that stuff, that doesn't do good.
Arnold doesn't stop at the public persona. He digs into the chaos within the administration, painting a picture of a White House that resembles a Hollywood set gone rogue. The revolving door of staffers, the leaks, the constant power struggles, all become material for a biting critique about leadership that feels more like a reality TV show than the world's most powerful office. Schwarzenegger draws on his own experience as governor to highlight how leadership demands stability, vision, and discipline, qualities that seem in short supply under Trump's reign. One of the sharpest parts of Arnold's roast targets Trump's relationship with truth. The way facts bend and twist to fit whatever narrative suits the moment makes the presidency feel less like governance and more like improvisational theater. He muses on Melania's role as a first lady who seems more like a reluctant co-star in a show she never auditioned for, stuck navigating the chaos without a script.
I know all of you are thinking now, I hope, that Arnold attacks Trump and says some really terrible things about Trump, right? But that's not my style. You know what's interesting is that every time I talk lately to environmentalists and to policy people, they say to me, says Arnold, I mean, what is the point of fighting for a clean environment when the government of the United States says climate change is a hoax and coal and oil is the future? When the politicians in Washington don't care. You know what I say to them? Exactly what I said in my movie Kindergarten Cop to the kids. Stop whining!
The roast closes with a sharp reminder: leadership is more than showmanship. And so far, Trump's act has been all spectacle, no substance. Arnold Schwarzenegger's takedown of Donald Trump stands out not just because of its humor, but because it comes from a place of experience and genuine understanding of what leadership requires. His roast blends biting comedy with hard truths, offering a powerful critique wrapped in charisma. The lasting impression is clear. In the battle of leadership versus showmanship, the spectacle may grab the spotlight, but true leadership never goes out of style.